In this video, I'll show you how to list and sell an item on eBay. I've got this Jacobs number 36 drill chuck. It's a great drill chuck. Jacobs really makes good stuff, but the taper on it is an MT4, and on my lathe it's an MT3, so this won't fit on any of the machines that I have, so I'd like to sell it. For the shipping weight, it's right there at about 4.5 pounds. And you can always round up, so I'm probably going to say 5, but 4.5, around that area. We'll go to eBay's website, and I'm going to click the Sell button right here, and this will bring you to the menu where you can click on List an Item for Free. And then it's going to start asking you some details about your item. Enter a brand. This is a Jacobs chuck. And it gives you suggestions. It's really easy. This is a Jacobs chuck. Not an MT2, it's not just a chuck key, so just Jacobs chuck is good enough. And then you can keep adding details to it, so like a mounting size or the drill chuck type. This is just a drill chuck. And you can go through here, and what's really cool is that like in every category there's lots of different details you can select about your item. So if you're selling something completely different, like another tool, it'll have details about that tool that you can fill in as well. After I've got all the details put in, I'll click Next, and then you'll select your condition. This is a used item, so I'll click the Used box, click Next, and then this is where you're going to start filling in a lot of the main things in your listing. Like, here's where you're going to put the title, and then some different item specifics. The drill chuck, there's some more details here, mounting types, and then this is where all your photos are going to go, the description, pricing, shipping, and we'll go through and fill all this out. It's always a good idea to look through some other listings on eBay and get an idea of what your product is worth. So here's a Jacobs number 36, pretty similar to mine, and it has the drill chuck. And that one's going for about 115. Here's another one that is Jacobs number 36 that has a drill chuck. That's an MT3 taper, which is a little different than mine, but that one's going for 200. I think I'm not going to go quite that high. You know, you never know if it's going to sell if you set your price too high. So I think I'm going to start at a price of about $85, and I'll give it free shipping. I personally like to always have free shipping and just add that cost into the price. It always is more appealing whenever an item has free shipping at the bottom. And on the low end, there's some different prices. There's definitely some variation. So this is one that does not have a drill chuck with it. That's $50, and then another $10 shipping. And then there's a few other ones, like here's one that does have a drill chuck with it, and that's $60. So there's definitely price variation. And this chuck that I have here it's in good shape. I did a little bit of restoring to it. There was a little bit of rust. So I cleaned it and made it all work smooth again. So I think 85, maybe a little bit more, is a reasonable price. For the title, I'm going to call this the Vintage Jacobs number 36 with chuck key, used but in great shape. It's always a good idea to add as much detail as you can into your title. So I'm actually going to say used Jacobs chuck. Just so it's more clear, it says what you want to do. You have 80 characters. It's a good idea to try to fill up as much as that as you can so that your buyer has a good idea of what they're buying. In some of the additional details, I'm going to change the mount type to tapered because this is a tapered mount. Now we'll go ahead and drag and drop all my photos into the photo section. I have 4 photos here. The first one is going to be the main photo. That's going to be like the thumbnail. And then I have a few others showing the detail and some of the different inscriptions on the part. Now in the description, it gives you a little autofill here where it puts your title. And I like to have that in there just so it's clear that this is the item that we're talking about. So Vintage Jacobs chuck number 36 with chuck key, used but in great shape, shipped with USPS priority mail. And then this chuck still spins smooth and is in great working shape. So the seller knows that this is still an item that's still in good shape, still working smooth. And I'm selling it because it has a MT4 taper, which is too big for all my machines. 1 Jacobs chuck key included. So it's a good idea, I think, depending on the situation, to say why you're selling the item, because that's always a question you can ask, is why is the person selling this item? Is there something wrong with it? I'm just selling it because it doesn't fit any of my machines and I don't need it anymore. I think in this situation, it makes sense to say why I'm selling it. There's a few different options for pricing. A pretty common way to do it is by bid, but I think I'm going to do it as a buy it now, because you never know how bids are going to go. It can go really low or it can go high, but I think it can be a bit risky. I'm just going to, I guess, play the long game and do a buy it now listing. So I'll flip the switch to buy it now and turn off the switch for auction. I think I'll list this for $90. And of course, you can change this at any time. So if it goes for a month without selling, you can always bring the price down. And then the next tab we're going to work on is shipping. Here's just a old box that I have that would work great for shipping it in. And the package dimensions here are 9.5 by 7.5 by 5.5. So I'll put that dimension in. And then we know that our weight is about 5 pounds. So whenever we enter in all that information, it gives us a rough estimate of about $10 to $27 depending on where the buyer's location is. I'm going to change this to free shipping so that we will pay the cost of $10 to $27 and then just put that to make the item's list price just a little bit more expensive. Once you think you're done, I'm going to click the preview button and it's going to give us a preview of what the listing's going to look like. There's the main picture, the list price, the title. We can scroll down, see the description. Looking good. I think that everything looks good on this, so I'm going to go ahead and click the List It button. Once you list the listing, you can look in your eBay account and at your active listings, and it's going to be right here. You see the specs, there's views and watchers right there, so you can get an idea of how many views it's getting and if people are interested.